Welcome you all to this week-long webinar series on insights on writing research proposals and funding opportunities. Today's keynote address is by Dr. Venkateshwaralu Karodi, Senior Principal Scientist, CSIR NAL Bangalore. Before he takes over, let's witness a brief formal inauguration of this week-long webinar series by our management. Now I request the Chief Coordinator of this FTP, Dr. Sandhya Das, to kindly welcome everyone.
Prakash D'Souza, distinguished chief guest Dr. Venkateshwar Karodi, esteemed principal Dr. Rio D'Souza, respected assistant director Reverend Father Rohit D'Costa and Reverend Father Alvin Richard D'Souza, Dr. Felcy D'Souza, convener of this program, and all the participants. A very good morning to you all. With immense pleasure, I stand before you to welcome all the distinguished guests for the one-week online FTP on insights on writing research proposals and funding opportunities. The objectives of the program is to provide knowledge on research proposals and funding opportunities, preparations for academicians for a rapid dissemination, and experience to engineers and scientists working on research. The FTP will also provide insight on promoting excellence by knowing how to get DST, CSIR, DRDO, MHRD, etc. funds, and to create awareness to write good proposals. To provide the insights on these, we have identified eminent resource persons with expertise who have consented to share their valuable knowledge and experience during this FTP. On this auspicious day, it is my privilege to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guest and keynote speaker, Dr. Venkateshwaralu Karodi. St. Joseph's Engineering College is indeed happy and proud to have you here this morning as the chief guest of this program, sir. A warm welcome to you. Reverend Father Wilfred Prakash D'Souza, Director of St. Joseph's Engineering College, is with us to preside over this inaugural session. He is a source of motivation and encouragement for all the activities organized at SJC. Dear Father, your presence means a lot for us. We welcome you, Father. We have with us our dynamic principal, Dr. Rio D'Souza, who has been a source of guidance, motivation, and advisor for this event. We are grateful to you, sir, for your support and for being with us this morning. We welcome you, sir. We have with us Reverend Father Rohit D'Costa and Reverend Father Alvin Richard D'Souza, Assistant Directors, who is working hard to make our college a center of excellence in technical education and management. A hearty welcome to you, dear fathers. I welcome Dr. Felcy D'Souza, librarian. She has been a source of guidance and support to the committee in conducting this program. Welcome you, madam. I welcome all resource persons who have acknowledged our invitation to deliver their presentations online. I welcome Dean MBA, HODs of all departments, HR manager, faculty members, and other staff, research scholars, students, and organizing committee members of SJEC. Faculty, students, participants from various engineering colleges have responded to our invitation, are with us to participate in this program. On behalf of college, I extend a warm welcome to you all. Have a pleasant day. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. A warm welcome to you as well. And now I request Dr. Rio D'Souza, the Principal, St. Joseph Engineering College, to give his inaugural address. Sir, please.
Good morning, esteemed Director, Reverend Father Wilfred Prakash D'Souza, esteemed Chief Guest of this inaugural program, Dr. Venkateshwaralu Karodi, Principal Scientist at CSIR NAL, Bangalore, all the other very esteemed participants of this program. For an institution which is growing, research is of prime importance, and we know that. Recently, I was attending a leadership summit and I observed the presentation of Dr. Ashok Shetter, Vice Chancellor of KLE Tech University, where he gave some insight showing that among the institutions, who have NIRF ranking within the rank 200, in the 5 parameters that are there, the teaching learning parameter, the graduate outcomes, and the outreach, these 3 parameters, almost all institutions are doing quite well, as much as the top institutes. But the 2 parameters where they are not doing well and at very dismal level is the research and professional practice parameter. And then, of course, correspondingly, the public perception parameter. The public perception depends on the standing of the institution, and the standing of the institution, according to this analysis, is based on the research outcome. So research is of prime importance. However, when we are teaching institutions like ours, St. Joseph Engineering College, we find it very difficult to get our faculty to do research. But we have to realize that research is the one which will keep them active, keep them engaged with the subject, and make them better teachers. This relationship cannot be ignored, cannot be underestimated. So I feel this is a way of very great importance to us to know how to write research proposals, how to apply for funding, because when funding comes in, we get the lifeblood required to do research in the institution. So this particular FTP, which is being organized by our research and facilities group, is of prime importance. I'm very happy that our people have taken up this particular initiatives and got very good resource persons to deliberate on this important issue over a period of 5 days. And we have got very good response also. Now I see participants are crossing 200. So I think we will be having very good deliberations. We have a very esteemed chief guest with us, Dr. Venkateshwarlu Karavadi. And of course, with his background in CSR and NAL, I think he will be the right person to initially give the keynote, and then a great lineup is there. I wish all the participants the very best. Please pay attention, deliberate, question, don't take everything, don't assume everything, and have good discussions so that we all get benefited out of this. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I wish all the participants the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring words. Now, may I request Reverend Father Wilfred Prakash D'Souza, the Director, St. Joseph Engineering College, to make his presidential remarks. Father, please.
A pleasant morning to you all. It's my privilege to address you at this inaugural session. We are all at the difficult times, but however, we are people of hope. We have come together, gathered our energy to study more. This online FTP will explore or help us to explore on writing research proposals, tools and techniques, and will help us to know about funding opportunities. I'm happy that we are getting an opportunity to host this event online through the Cisco WebEx platform. I'm glad that Dr. Venkateshwarlu readily accepted our request and has agreed to be with us as the chief guest of this inaugural and to deliver the keynote address. I'm also grateful to all the resource persons who readily accepted our invitation and are a part of this program as resource persons. I congratulate the organizing committee who has taken this initiative to conduct this event and wish them all success. I call upon all of you to actively take part in all the sessions over the next 5 days and make the best use of the resources provided and get the best benefit out of it. I'm sure you will have a lot of learning to take away by the end of the program. Have a pleasant day and wonderful time ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Father. We are really grateful to you for your support. Now, before I call upon Dr. Felsi to introduce Dr. Venkateshwarlu Karavadi, participants, please note, I'll be giving you some of the instructions which you keep these in mind. Your mics are muted by default. please use chat box for any queries and questions to the speaker. You can post the questions during the session and will be answered during the question and answer session. The slides by the speaker will be made available to the participants based on speaker's discretion. The recording of the webinar will be available on SJC YouTube channel in a week's time. The webinar is purely on gaining knowledge and for self-improvement. Feedback link will be mailed to you to the active participants at the end of the question and answer session. Please fill and submit. A e-certificate will be issued to the participants who attend all the sessions and submit the feedback form. Now I request the Chief Librarian of our college, Dr. Felsi D'Souza, to introduce the guest, today's speaker, Dr. Venkateshwarlu Karodi. Please, ma'am.
Respected dignitaries in the panel, resource persons, and my dear participants, good morning to you all. With immense pleasure, I deem it my privilege to introduce our chief guest, Dr. K. Venkateshwarlu, who has also consented to be the keynote address speaker of today's program. Dr. Venkateshwarlu is presently working as a senior principal scientist at National Aerospace Laboratory, Bengaluru, and working in Council for Scientific and Industrial Research for the past 35 years. Dr. Venkateshwarlu did his degree in metallurgical engineering and MTech in engineering materials from NIT Bhopal in 1995 and completed his PhD in metallurgical and materials engineering from IIT Kharagpur in 2000. He is the recipient of Professor P. Banerjee Memorial Award for his best MTech thesis in 1996, and after that, he had been to Japan for 6 months to undergo advanced training on NDT. In 2004, he went to University of Southern California, Los Angeles, USA for his postdoctoral work. In 2009, he went to Russia and presented his work on ultrafine grained aluminum alloys. In 2011, he went to China and presented his talk on nanostructured AI alloys. During September-October 2014, he visited Miskolc University, Hungary, and delivered talks on advances in processing of AI alloys. On his personal trips, he visited Germany, Belgium, Switzerland, France, Slovakia, Bhutan, and Hong Kong. In 2015, he went to Shanghai and chaired a session in an international conference and also presented an invited talk. Dr. Venkateshwarlu has published 101 international papers and 145 national and international conference papers. He has guided 7 MTech and 20 PhD students. He is a fellow of Institutions of Engineers India, Kolkata, CSI Raman Fellow, Professor of Academy CSIR, and Fellow of Andhra Pradesh Academy of Sciences. With this, I thank Dr. Venkateshwarlu for accepting our invitation and present here today for this program. Thank you, sir. Now I request our chief guest to deliver the keynote address. Over to you, sir.
Now I request Dr. Venkateshwarlu Karodi to take over, please.
Namaskara. Good morning to all of you. Let me sincerely thank Father Wilfred, Dr. Rio D'Souza, Dr. Sanjay Das, Dr. Rajesh Kumar, and Dr. Felsi, who are all the panel members and from SJCE and faculty, students, and all the participants who are participating in this webinar conference, I think FDP program. I think first of all, uh, let me congratulate the Institute SJEC for conducting such type of conference, and mostly I think I wish to record on this message that your Felsi, Dr. Felsi of librarian. In fact, 2 weeks back only I presented this talk for Reva Institute of Technology in Bangalore, and she attended this program and she says that no, you have to give this talk, and she wanted to share this knowledge to all the participants in and around Bangalore. So with this basic idea, she formulated this conference and request to all the delegates. This is the right time for you all, even though COVID is making a lot of trouble to us, we should take advantage of this program, COVID program, and see that such type of conferences or FDP programs or workshops, how it will be useful to us. I think by sitting in your house, you can able to listen the lectures given by eminent personalities or who are having a good experience. And please do not think in that direction that if I listen this talk, what I am going to get. I think whether it is a mechanical engineering, whether it is a physics, chemistry, or even mathematics, please try to attend webinar programs or workshops or conferences and try to understand what is meant by conference, what is meant by seminar, and what is meant by workshop. If you know the basic differences of this one, you can make a boundary conditions on for yourself, and you can attend even when we give the lecture to the participants, to the delegates. It is not 100% whatever I teach, whatever I talk to them, they will understand. But even if 1% of you can able to follow and could able to do whatever suggestions we give, I think we are satisfied, and we are in a good position that at least we have satisfaction that we have guided some people. Even I guided more than 20 PhD students. Still, now I am not taking any more students, but offline we are guiding some students, and every time it is a practice. Earlier, our principal was talking about, and director was also telling that research is very important. And when you take a research funds, I think whatever the SGEC, they are getting the funds directly or indirectly. I am also involved in that. Maybe the management may not be knowing that whatever proposals you are sending to KCST or VGST, all being reviewed by us only. I am deeply involved in that activity of evaluation of the projects and evaluation of students programs also. What we wanted to suggest is, please try to understand how other people are doing, what type of, now science is open. Please do not have anything in your mind that these programs, how it will be useful to you. Certainly it will be useful very nicely. And Dr. Felsi is conducting this conference. It doesn't mean that she will get some knowledge. That knowledge only she wanted to display to other people. How a research project can be taken, what are the sponsoring agencies, and how to write an international paper. And knowledge sharing is more important. I think we have one more colleague from my organization. He next time when he will be invited, he will give what type of websites are available, where you can get all the information. And and that fellow is good friend of Dr. Felsi also. I think with this brief introduction and importance of this conference, I think many IIT faculty are also giving. You please try to understand. And one more thing is, you don't get anything ready-madely. You should make your efforts. Unless you work hard, you will not get anything in your life also. So please try to work hard. If you get a clue, from that clue, you should be able to make your thread and go deep in that one, get a funding, get good international papers, try to publish in a high impact fact journals. That is what nowadays your resume speaks what you are. So try to make a good resume. Your resume only speak about yourself. By sitting in a interview board for 10 minutes, we could able to easily find out the candidate is suitable for assistant professor or associate professor or professor. Why we got that? When we were this side as a candidate, we used to think that how this faculty principal or director, how he is assuming that with my 15 years of experience, with 10 minutes, how he able to tell that I am a useless candidate. But when we sit that direction, that seat, we understand that yes, 10 minutes is more than sufficient to understand what is the capability of that candidate. So all the faculty members, please try to make your resume strong. Your resume only speaks everything. For that only, what is H index, what is I index, those I am going to talk in my technical presentation. I think take this opportunity and try to get something, some knowledge improvement. And one more thing, your principal was pointing out that faculty are busy with their own work. Yes, they are busy with their own work, but कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है. You have to get something. For that you have to lose something. You have to lose something. What is that losing is, even after 5 o'clock, if you want to really do research work, sit in the department or sit in the house and try to do till up to 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. What is the problem? Family is there. Family problems will be there. Those are all at the part of your life only. But doing good research and getting good papers is the main motto of, it should become a motto of every faculty members. With these few words, I congratulate all the participants and they should gain some knowledge, and my responsibility is there. Whatever information I know, I'll try to give, and please use that knowledge or use that advices and follow them strictly, so that something, at least if I can able to guide you at least 1%, I will be very satisfied. Let me sincerely thank once again St. Joseph College of Engineering giving this opportunity to chair, to be the chief guest of this program. And after this, I will be talking for 1.5 hours. I will not leave anyone. You should able to listen this one. And another request to all the participants, just join this webinar program and you can go out and get a certificate. Please don't do that one. If you listen, you are going to get some knowledge. For that, please try to listen. If some lectures are not good, you forget about it. Even my lecture is not good, you forget about it. But you try to attend, you try to listen, you try to maintain a record, what they are telling. Then you implement that one, so that you will get your knowledge. It is only knowledge sharing, nothing more else. I wish you all the best and thank you very much once again. Thank you, Dr. Vijay Kumar, Rajesh Kumar. Hello.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yes, sir, you can carry on.
Thank you very much. Would you able to hear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
My
Loud and
talk
clear.
is over. This one. Should I go for the presentation or shall I?
Yes,
Wait.
sir. I request you to take over, please.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Thank
fine.
you very much for your advice. I kindly request you to carry on with your presentation.
Can you able to see my presentation? Just check this one. Can you able to see?
No, sir. It's yet to be uploaded.
I think 1 minute. Again, I have to go back now. Again, I have to go share content or what? Again, I have to do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have to.
Yes, sir. You can see your presentation.
Okay. I'll put it in a full screen mode. Dr. Rajesh,
Yeah.
can you see now?
Yes, sir. Very clear.
Shall I start my presentation?
Yes, sure, sir. Please.
Okay. Welcome back after the commercial break for 1 minute. I think very much thankful to Dr. Rajesh Kumar. I think since morning we are sitting together and trying to see that we should able to give a good presentation here. I think today what I am going to talk, that is research funding and publication importance. In fact, I don't know whether I am the right person to tell you everything that possible within 1.5 hours, but trying to see that whether some limbs, some of the activities of what we are doing over the more than 3.5 decades. I have clubbed everything together and trying to give insights of what is research funding and what is the importance of publications. I think many people, they take it very casually. That is not the case here. When you want to publish in a good SCI journals, Science Citation Index journals, what are the things required and how to write a good international paper, I'll give some of the tips. But after my presentation, you should be able to take those tips, trying to link with those tips with your experience and get all the ideas. But don't ask directly that, sir, I can remove the peel of banana and give it to you, but you have to eat. But I cannot make you to eat. I cannot put in your mouth and say that you should eat this one. So humble request to all the delegates is, please try to use these links. Please try to use these ideas, and you can do yourself. I think now everybody is very good. I think the intellectual levels of Indians are far better than anybody comparable to anybody in the world. I think even if you see that USA also 40% of engineers and doctors are from India. With this brief this thing, I am going to start what is research funding and what is the influence of international publications. As Dr. Felsi has given my introduction to you, let me sincerely acknowledge Dr. Felsi D'Souza. I think you can see I got this photograph from your St. Joseph Engineering College, Mangalore. I should thankful to my colleague Dr. Shivram from CSIR NAL, who is also a librarian. In fact, I am the chairman for his library, some committee. I don't know what is it. Whenever they want some information, we go and give that information. We conduct the meeting, and rest of the thing they only do it. So we don't come in the picture. We have given the full freedom, and the way he is doing the things. Anyway, we are giving the guidance, but he is doing extremely good. Dr. Shivaram also, I should be thankful to all these people. And anyway, I have my sincere thanks to Dr. Rajesh Kumar, Sanjay Das, Wilfred, and Rio D'Souza. I think with this one, try to see that we'll come to the subject directly. What is research proposal, and know some of facts about research proposals. Whenever your research proposals are coming in a big way, whether are you doing a relevant research area, whether those are all suitable to your areas, research area, and who are all the sponsoring agencies for this sponsoring agencies for giving this sponsoring these projects, and whether you have expertise in that one or not, whether are you going to do applied research or basic research, whether you wanted to do collaborative nature or independent nature, finally what is your budget. You should able to understand all those things. Research proposal, in fact, for the past 3.5 decades, even though we have taken a lot of projects as a project investigator, project member, project co-project leader, still we are learning. In fact, a decade back, when we submitted a research proposal to AR&DB Defense, this thing, we wanted to give a proposal on aluminum alloys where in general 100 to 400 MPa strength, whereas we wanted to double that one 800 MPa strength by taking a small sample of 10 mm diameter and 1 mm thickness by doing severe plastic deformation or high pressure torsion. But when we presented that one to Aeronautical Research and Development Board, that is DRDO, what they suggested is you are taking a small sample and you wanted to improve the strength, everything is good, but where you wanted to apply, they wanted to see that ready-made application. You take some problem of their organization and try to give some inputs to that ongoing project. That is what is project, what they wanted to look in work. But if you go for sponsoring agencies like AICTE or SCRB of DST, you will clearly understand, even if you want to do some basic fundamental research work as an individual also, those proposals can be given. In fact, if you are really good and you have a good ideas internationally, innovative ideas, if you are having Naval Research Board, CSIR, DST, all the people they are sponsored, that the money is not a problem nowadays. Plenty of money is available. Only thing, you should be able to track those projects and try to see that how you can get these projects and try to implement in your research organization, in your college, and see that you can make some information to that one, a delta change in that one. That is most important. Let us see that what type of collaborative works you wanted to do, whether you are working on systems or innovative type ideas and skills. See, you have a lot of ideas sometimes and you don't want to collaborate with others. You feel that it should be done along with yourself only. That is individual, but nowadays it is a highly practiced and highly advisable to have a collaborative in nature. Please try to have a collaboration nature. Since you are from academic institute, please have a collaboration with the research institutes and private industries or public sectors, so that you can do some collaborative work and really you can contribute to this society. That is what is main, what is collaborative, cooperative and co-create. These are the various ideas now we are having. I think if you think that you can do alone and you can publish papers, that is also can be done. But you should be able to do those things when you have a sufficient individual knowledge. So better option is should have collaboration with other institutes, and you can do really miracles in this one. Nowadays, you can see that Make in India programs are coming. That also I will be discussing later. I think what is the expertise available? Suppose you are basically a mechanical engineer and trying to submit a proposal to a sponsoring agency on cultivation of crops, something like that. Whether the sponsoring agency is going to sponsor that type of projects? No. Why? Because whenever you submit a proposal, you are going to give the resume of the project investigator, project coordinator, or project leader. And when you give your resume, your list of publications will clearly show that what is your expertise. Whether that expertise is clearly seen by the experts, and they will say that this man can do that type of research. But if you really wanted to do some innovative research work, even if you don't have expertise in that area, but the idea is very good, that can also be considered. Those things are very clear. Even we are off the record, we are telling that we are involved with AICT, DST, INSA programs, where we can have a little idea about whether this project can be sanctioned or not. And you can do consultant type of works also, which is very clear that you have some idea and you can do type of this type of work. Then you can do the consultancy type of work, and knowledge sharing also can be done. And even when last time when I presented, there were some questions from the computer science program students, that faculty members, that whether they can take some projects on computer engineering. Exactly, they are right. They can take such type of works, and there are many things are available now, computational analysis, computational knowledge on material science, and you can really do very good type of research works but only thing, please try to work in that direction, and interdisciplinary is more important, whatever decisions. And keep it in mind that if you have applied for a project or if you have written a good international paper, suppose if it is rejected, please do not lose your heart. I think those who are very good researchers in India or abroad, when they submitted papers also, I think sometimes the papers are rejected due to some reasons. Okay, we know that what are the reasons, and we will come again and we will work hard and we will submit to another journal and we get published. But don't assume that everybody whoever submits, whether it is a IIT faculty or some CSR lab scientist, whenever they submit any paper, it is accepted. No, that is not correct. Even projects also similarly like that only. Whenever you submit a proposal, sometimes they may not give. You will understand what are your loopholes, and you will try to overcome those things and submit again. As I said earlier, we had a issue when we submitted a ARDB proposal 1 decade back, when we understood that it is a actually requirement of the industry. So we went to industry, we could able to take some problem, and we applied again and we got some good project. Now one more project we also applied and it is approved. It is costing about almost like 197 lakhs. That I will show you later. So who are all that sponsoring agencies? As I said, the ARDU, these are all comes under DRDO. Nowadays, if you see that most of the money is being diverted by the central government to DRDO. Why? Because we are fighting with this corona, and we have a lot of projects. DRDO is actively involved, and ISRO is doing a lot of research works, all satellite programs, and I wish to inform you that whatever the ISRO is launching the space vehicles, they are initially tested at the National Aerospace Laboratory, Bangalore, for some of the technical these things, and each test we charge around 1 crore to 1.5 crores. Those things were tested here, they are subjected to a lot of tests, and then only they go for launching the space shuttles. Similarly, you have SCRB programs of Department of Science and Technology. I think those who are really interested, they can apply for the SCRB projects. I think you should know that whenever you write this such type of proposals to DST or ARDO, ARDB, DRDO or ISRO, ISRO is having different types of programs like a RESPOND program. That is, what is that RESPOND program is? They have n number of research projects. You take one research project and ask them to say that you can do such type of research work in your organization. They may give initially a small amount of 10 to 25 lakhs. Why? Because generally these projects are below 50 lakhs is one board, below 10 lakhs research grants can be given by the chairman itself without any reviewing. But above 10 to 50 lakhs, it should be reviewed by one committee, and above 50 lakhs to 5 crores, the committee, the senior, another committee can look after. More than 5 crores, so there is a special committee for that one. And DST can give a lot of projects, and Government of India is having so many programs, like CSR is giving some projects, and ICAR is another one, and medical research also they have. Imprint is another DST program of impacting research, innovation and technology. I think I will discuss more in DST projects also. And CSR, what are the fundings are available? I'll give a brief idea about what CSR is going to do. And AICT gives, I think, a lot of projects, and most likely your organization must have taken TechU funds from the AICTE. And as I said, VTU earlier, we were giving, I was involved in for mechanical engineering. More than, I think, almost 8 to 10 years, we have worked for VTU, Belgaum, about the research projects for all engineering colleges. We used to give maximum 10 lakh rupees. Now that program is stopped, I think the money is diverted to some other funds, but still you have some funding available from VTU. And VGST, Vision Science Group of Science and Technology from the government of Karnataka, we have a lot of projects, and in fact, this is money given to the technical institutes, those who are in Karnataka. It is not they should be affiliated to VTU or any organizations, research organizations, or technical institutes, engineering colleges which are in Karnataka. They will get funds from VGST. I am happy to inform recently we have cleared more than 15 research projects from mechanical engineering side, and each project minimum is 25 to 50 lakhs, minimum 25 lakhs projects. So we have finalized those proposals, and shortly I think it will be reviewed by another committee where they are going to see that this institute was given really earlier any funding. They have cleared that one, they have submitted the report, then only they will release the new year grants. Otherwise, in general, they don't give these projects to the same organization repeatedly. And lot of funding is available from Department of Biotechnology. I think those who are working on biotechnology, if you go to the website of Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology, you can see ample opportunities for research scholars. And you can see that what type of projects are available now. Make in India programs are there, whatever research work you are doing. As far as mechanical engineers are concerned, I can see that whatever material development, design aspects, whatever you wanted to do, say you can put under Make in India program. You wanted to skill development, you wanted to make it, you want to take some 50 to 75 students and wanted to guide them also, you can get fund from Make in India program. And Indian Manufacturing Barometer 2019, they have made excellent idea of how you can do this manufacturing. Nowadays, you can see that Government of India is pumping the research grants in manufacturing technology. Why? Because we are going to produce many engineers. We should look after their recruitment, their salaries, their jobs. So what we are going to see is a lot of research funds we are giving into the Make in India program, and Government of India manufacturing technology. They are giving a lot of money in the manufacturing technology. If you are a MSME, middle scale manufacturing sector, you can get a lot of funds. This one, say a lot of innovative methods like laser beam weldings and friction star welding, like cutting machines, all these things, you can get beautiful projects. I think medical devices and manufacturing in India also is becoming a good influence, where dental sector also, you can get a lot of funds. I think now we are going in a big way that from Chennai to Mysore, you are going to have a bullet train. So these trains can be developed in India itself. And please keep it in mind that when a material, engineering part which is costing, for example, 10 rupees in India, and if you get import from somewhere and getting for 5 rupees, I think it is strongly believable that you should use 10 rupees one only. Why? Because even though if it is 5 rupees is cheaper, but the duration, the life of that component may not be as good as 10 rupees. And tomorrow, if that fellow starts selling after a few years, if he says that you should give that material for 12 rupees, then you will be in problem. So by spending 10 rupees and giving opportunity for our people, our Indians, then it is far better. So we should not depend on that's what Make in India, a lot of programs are coming. You are supposed to have this type of research funding from, you should understand where you have to apply. That is the most important. And one more important thing is, whenever you write a good research proposal, please try to understand what are the components available in that research proposal. For example, here, any research proposal, you should have a manpower. That is one junior research fellow or a project assistant who is completely engaged for this project work only. Even some engineering colleges, they say that I am already having some MTech student or PhD student who can work. That is not acceptable. As a sponsoring agency, what they will see is, this you are suppose dedicated manpower is required for particular that project, And earlier I told we have one WhatsApp group for my students of 20 PhD students, other some good well-wishers, those who joined in our group. We unofficially we are involved in the AICT activities, and whenever that announcement came for research proposals, what they have told is you give some proposal. So I sent that notification to all my students, and I told that you give the research proposal in area of your domains, your expertise, so that we cannot mention that we will see that it can be considered for funding. But interestingly, I did not get any proposal from any of students. Those are all faculty members in Karnataka only. So AICT recently they have given, we have sanctioned some of the projects. I think people should know that how to get that funding also. And budget, when you are giving manpower is most important. Then next one is equipment. What type of equipment you are going to use, and what type of consumables are required, how much is required, like first year, second year, and third year. Like this is a 3 years project, and suppose if you are taking a research fellow and after 2 years you wanted to become a senior research fellow, third year grants will be changing. So that also you should keep in mind. And contingencies around 5% of above consumables, equipment, and manpower, and it goes to whatever funds you want to conduct some research program, you want to conduct a national conference or international conference, you want to go and present. For all, you can use this contingency amount. And testing charges also, you should able to know that what type of testing. Sometimes the facilities are not available in your organization. You are supposed to go out. Somebody is asking how much funding required, and that I think I will take that questions at the last. They are now only asking the questions. I think testing charges, you should keep some amount so that you can, whenever you don't have facilities in your organization, you should go out for and get the work done. You should keep as a testing charges. And TADA, as usual, for conferences or to discuss with some senior people, you have to go outside of organization, then you require some. And overheads is some of the money which can go to the administration directly. So this is a research proposal what you are having. And after understanding about AICTA, DST, and VGST, all these sponsoring agencies, since I belongs to CSIR organization for the past 3.5 decades, let me give briefly about what type of research fundings are available from CSIR. As you know that Government of India, Ministry of Science and Technology, if you see DST, CSIR, DBT, DOD, Ocean, these are all comes under Ministry of Science and Technology. And in Ministry of Environment and Forest is like Biodiversity Authority, Adequate Authority of India, Geological Survey of India, Botanical Survey of India. These are all environment and forest departments. And agriculture, you can see that ICAR is there, and animal sciences are there, and fisheries are there, and Fishery Service of India. Nowadays, for all these departments, you are whenever you go to particular, for example, if I take a DST website, what type of projects, research proposals they are sanctioning, what type of reports are available. For example, NRB, if you take what type of for the past 3-4 years, who are all given this one, who are all given this one research grants, how much they have got, what type of work they have done, report is available, funding, how they have given, that is available. So if you go in details of this one, everything is available in the internet. So you have to go to that particular website and check all the details are available. Those things, if you want, I can give that information also. And as said, UGC also, National University, State University, and Private University. These are the sponsoring agencies from Government of India. These are all various department of organizations, DST, DSIR, where we come from Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, is situated in Delhi and having a national labs of 38 laboratories all over the India. And the main motto of our CSR is to provide scientific and industrial R&D that maximize the economic and environmental and societal benefits for the people of India. how the vision has taken place when the first Prime Minister Pandit Nehru, what he thought was, you are having a different industries all over the India. So wherever these large industries are there, we should have a R&D lab who can take care of the issues by particular organization, particular industry, and we should support them. This is a vision they have started with CSIR. As you know, that President is Narendra Modi, is by default the Prime Minister of India, Vice President Dr. Harshvardhan, and Director General is Shekhar Mande. These are the people, and the first Director General was Dr. S.S. Bhatnagar. I think he was the Director General from since 1942 to 54. From the inception, he was the first, I think, 12 years he was the Director General for CSIR. And what is the important of this person is, if you see the civilian awards for India, that is starting from, you have highest civilian award. What is the highest civilian award for India? Bharat Ratna, then Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri, and after that there is one award called Shantaswarupar Bhatnagar Award. I think this people should know, and what is that Bhatnagar Award? Those who are below 45 years, they will be given. They give initially 5 lakhs check, and that can be used for your research grants. Apart from that, and all the disciplines like biological, chemical, earth science, planetary, or engineering, or mathematical, medical, physical science, everybody is eligible, and they will get 25,000 rupees per month without any income tax till their retirement. If the retirement age is 65 years, they are going to get that amount till that. This is below 45 years. I think we have a lot of technologies, and one more thing is the patentable information. I think today I'm not going to discuss on patentable informations. Why? Because today it is restricted only for paper writing and research funding. So whatever we have done for CSIR, like Amul spray is patented by CFTRI Mysore, and we have Param computer system is invented by NEL Bangalore, and there are many medicinal CDRI Lucknow, and so on. And we have CPOLS program for bright young students of 10th and 12th. We give 14 days of free training for them, free accommodation, lodging, and boarding plus fellowship amount. And nowadays we have started a new innovation from Prime Minister's program. That is, we are cultivating the research in 10th and 12th, 11th and 12th students. So what we are doing is we give the sanction some of the money for these young bright students. Jignasa is a new program, and what we do is we encourage the students to continue their research for 3 years, 2 years, or 1 year. They can do in their organization, in their school only, and we go as experts and see that every year we go and check that I think those who are having below 28 years, he is telling the age, and he wanted to that what are the available. So you can apply for a research fellowships, and in fact, we are going to take some JRFs also. And those who cleared this CSR UGC examination till last year, it was on directly writing the examination in the hall. Now it is online examination, and JRF gate examination, research associate, and senior research associates, and emeritus scientists. Emeritus scientist is those who are completed, superannuated from their service. They can be taken as emeritus scientist, and after 60 years, they can work with us. We give that salary for them, that fellowship amount, or you can say that consultancy amount, which is their retirement, whatever the money they are getting after retirement. And earlier, whatever the salary they are getting, the difference only maximum we can pay that amount to this emeritus scientist. That is maximum for five years. And there is a project called funding, extramural research funding, like universities like IITs, postgraduate, recognized R&D laboratories, both in public and private sectors. They are eligible. Only thing, they should have a little contact with the CSIR people, scientists, and if they can link to the existing or ongoing research projects, they will be funding. Some of the money can be given directly to these institutes. in general, that government research laboratories or establishments are not eligible, but they can also. There is another funding which is called NIFS, New India Fund Scheme. Initially, it was given for CSIR scientists. Now, this has been extended to other researchers also. And this is a really a cutting edge technology, or it should be novel in the world. Novelty should be there. And if you are really having that type of knowledge, absolutely there is no problem for the funding. Any amount can be given here, but it is vigorously checked every 6 months. There is a review, and experts will be asking questions on that one. And if they feel that you are not doing such type of expected outcome of the research program, they can terminate it anytime. The proposal is very simple, and you require a lot of thought processing is required. And as I said, now I think there is a little problem in funding. Recently, they have cut down some of the travel grants. Otherwise, earlier they were giving for research scholars also. I think as far as my case is concerned, the fellowships what are available from CSIR, from DST. I got the DST Young Scientist Project when I started my PhD program in 1997. I got a Young Scientist research program with 3.5 lakhs. After that, INSA fellowship we got. We visited some foreign countries, and we have taken grants for INSA, and we have taken grants from DST and CSIR. We have taken some money below 45 years. You can go. The complete program is supported by CSIR itself. So we should understand that what are the fellowships are available, how you should get those projects. And once you got any projects, in general, 3 years, you cannot go in again, you cannot apply in any other fellowship. So 3 years is a barrier time. But when I went for an international conference at China, even though I went 1 year back only, but the total grant was given by the sponsors, that is organizers at China. They have supported everything. They have given the travel grant, they have given the accommodation, they have given the no registration fee, and I gave an invited talk. So in that case, it is specially treated. So partial finance assistance for regular and ad hoc and contract employees of non-CSIR. And if those who wanted to have some more details, they can go for csirhrdg.res.in. And you wanted to conduct a workshop or seminars or symposium like that, the grants are available. CSIR symposium grant is provided for organizing symposiums, seminars, conferences are here. And what type of other fellowships are available? I think CSIR Nehru Science Postdoctoral Research Fellowship Scheme. CSIR Nehru Science Postdoctoral Fellowship, and minimum qualification is PhD, and age is 32 years, duration is 2 + 1 years. Amount can be 35 years plus HRA and 3 lakhs per annum. These are the various, I think many of my known people, those who got CSIR Nehru Postdoctoral Fellowship, and they are working in some organization. There are, in addition to this one, there is Shyam Prasad Mukherjee Fellowship. The objective is to nurture budding scientific talent and to nourish the objective of the pursuit of scientific research. These are various programs are available. Stipend is given something like 20,000 plus HRA. These rates are all increased. Now, earlier project assistant, we are getting 15,000 per project assistant. Level 1 was 15,000. Earlier we are, now it has increased to 25. That is, a diploma holder can get around 25,000 rupees fellowship amount. These are all various fellowships are available. Now, NIMILTI is another program. That one, if you have really wanted to do some great work along with the industry, I think it is a good opportunity. It is called New Millennium Indian Technology Leadership Initiative. This project is for 4 years. It can be extended also, and 37 such projects have been involved, and 65 industry partners with 175 R&D institutions, and we are spending almost like 270 crores. So this is also now increased. I think these are the NIMILT projects what in various sectors we have taken by CSIR. And visiting associateship also is given. I think you can see that middle level scientists from universities or R&D units in industries, and evaluation by the committee, and we give all TA, DA, and maximum 60 days in a year you can visit a CSIR lab. I think these visiting associateships are available. I think some of the faculty, they wanted to visit CSIR lab, they can use this one. I think you have other programs called fellowship abroad also. You have CSIR DAD fellowship, CSIR Raman Research Fellowship, Japan, Indo-UK, and many other developed countries. We have a lot of collaboration. I think initially I tried with the DAD fellowship, which I did not get, and I got the CSIR Raman fellowship. Then Indo-Japan, I went to Japan for 6 months and worked. I think this is as far as the program of funding is considered. And if you want more details, you can go csrhdg.res.in or csr.res.in. And now, once you understand that you can apply some research grants and you can get some projects, and you must have done a good projects in your research organization, in your institute, then what is international publication importance? I think now it is 11:22. I have another 30 minutes. I can go. What is the importance of these publications? Why you should be considered? Why SCA journals only? Why not in open access journal? These are all issues now. Every faculty must know these facts. Whether you are actively publishing or not, whether you are doing good research or not, but your resume only speaks. That's what I told. Nowadays, the format of your biodata is name and father's name and address for communication and what is your designation. Then after that, what is required is what is your H index, what is your I index, how many papers you have published for the 5 years. And by seeing that one only, that small table only, they are going to see other things, whatever inside your biodata. So your biodata only speak about this one. So why we should do such type of research? For getting a good international publications, and for that what we should do it, and where we should work. Sometimes you say that you don't have basic facilities in your organization, but still, if you are really intelligent, you can do some type of computer modeling work, and you can do the research work also. And when we should do, with whom we should work, and what we should get, and who satisfies is a big question. I think those who are the senior people or principals or directors, now if you are getting some 2-3 PhD degrees, it doesn't mean that they are going to get a large benefit for them. It is only you are going to get benefit. So you should be most satisfied person. And once you become, that's what now Government of India, whatever the programs they are giving for attending an international conference, for our research work, giving the research grants, everything was well determined, well documented. But the people who are going to take those projects, they are very casual in their approach, and they think that this can be, you take a project and do it for 2 years and submit a proposal, submit the report, it is over. But it is not like that. They are going to see that whether you have implemented this research work. After 5 years also, they will check. So you should be very careful, and it is the question of who is the most junior people will satisfy themselves. It is not only you are getting a PhD degree, after that you are supposed to guide some of the people. So that is more important. So the satisfaction comes from the junior people only. And before I go into the deep of publications importance, let me in fact, what happened last week when Dr. Felsey asked me to give this talk, my presentation, which was the latest presentation available, was left in my laptop in my organization. Now from that, I did not go to the office as there was a lockdown for 1 week. So I could not go to the office. Now I am presenting the old one. That's what you please forgive me for presenting the old data only, but that can be extended to the advanced versions of the softwares like EndNote X5, X4 we are talking now. X9 is available. I think you can use that one and try to understand what is citation, what is H-index, and not only EndNote, what is Manly program. Manly, if you can use also, that is sufficient. And interaction with other institute, as I said, if you are from academic institute, you should have interaction with research institutes and private industries. And when you present any technical talk, what type of and how the slide should be made, that I'll give very quickly some of the glimpse of how your technical talk should be and what type of research and exactly what you should do it and how to publish an international paper. These are all the outline I am going to give. I think most of the people must be using when you start your program after internet surfing and internet email search. Whatever the work you are going to do with the Microsoft Word only. I think most of the people must be working day and night, and every day you use the Microsoft Word. I am also using since 1995 when we have a Word Perfect where we convert everything, whatever typed material we convert into the Word, and we used to, any correction to be done, we had to go to Word Perfect, and we used to come to the Microsoft Word. So now the things become very easy. When it become very easy, you should know that how these people can be done. Now, suppose if I do something in the abstract or you have written the report of this one, you need to make the index automatically. Index can be made from the one click only, how we should be done. And now you can see that this is the old one. You can see here my presentation in the Microsoft Word. You can see that EndNote X4 is there. Now, when you download EndNote X9, I think you go to the Google and search for EndNote X9. There is a free software download available for 30 days trial. I think I will not give more details of how to make it permanent, and you should be able to do it by knowing some of the techniques, and otherwise you should buy that software. That is called EndNote X9. Once you download this one in Microsoft Word, you can get directly here. And what are the benefits of this downloading the EndNote X9? If you see that here I am talking about X5, it will come like X4 or X9. It will come in your Microsoft Word directly. And once you see this EndNote X5 or X9, you can see here that there is a search engine. Go to EndNote. So once you click that one, and you can see here, there is a style style is given here. The style is Tribology International. We are working on material science aspects. So tribology, wear and friction we are doing. So I have taken MSCA, Tribology International. Whatever the journal is available, almost all styles are available. Why? Because all the references are kept according to the type of journal. But if you want to keep your own journal format of the how the references should be, like a authors first, title, year, volume, page numbers, like that. So whatever information you want, you can create your own also. It is not only the question of according to the journal. Journal, if you fix it, is okay. But suppose if journal is not available, you can do on your own this thing also. And what is the advantage? Suppose you write a paper, submit to Tribology International, and all the references will come at the end of the manuscript. You need not to bother for whether it is in serial or not. Automatically, everything will take place. You just read your subject. You want to keep some references, you go to insert button and insert the references there. At the end of the manuscript, automatically all the references will come as per the Tribology International. For example, you have submitted this paper and it is rejected. Then what you should do? You submit to, you try to see that what are the comments, expert comments, try to resolve, try to answer all those things in your revised manuscript and submit to another journal. Like suppose if I submit to VR journal, then I will go to VR journal here, and that references automatically it will all convert into the style of VR journal only. So the way we were spending when we were doing research work 97 to 2000, when we were doing the research, we used to go to the library, sit for hours together, take the reprints, xerox, and bring it. Nowadays, all things have gone. Now you can have your laptop is available. If you have Science Direct, if you have good internet facilities, Everything can be done at fingertips only. So once you go to search engine like EndNote, and what will happen, you can see that you just give search words only. And you can see here how the search words can be given here. You can go to Tribology International, there is a search button will come. Once you in the search button, if you type, suppose for example here, I have written that friction tribology of aluminum silicon alloys. All the things will come, even if it is international conference, journal proceedings are also there. Those are also available here. Once you click year, automatically, alphabetically, that is chronological order year will come. Others also, you want to make it A to Z, you can make all alphabetical others also, and title, and you can make your own groups here. You can see that I have created some of the groups here, and which type of journal you can keep. References, I have taken something like 15,000. And what is happening is when you do this type of work and keep the references, when you are writing a introduction part, like aluminum, silicon also, alloys are widely used for aerospace applications. So you have to give some references. You just go to that here, give the search button, you write aluminum, silicon alloys, comma, importance. All references will come. You just go to the select with control button and just insert those references. It will go to 1, 2, 5 and 7 like that. Suppose 1, 2, 3 has come. Now, after after the introduction at the end, you wanted to bring that second reference. You need not to worry. There in the running text, it will come 2, comma, 7 and 8 will come. So you need not to bother for that. Even again the reference, same references comes. You need not to do all those things. So it will directly go to this one. So here you can see that Tribology International, we have made lot of references here, and all the things will come at the end of this one. You should have a good internet, and if you spend some time on this one, it is very easy. I think now people, those who are working, those who are particularly carrying out their research work for PhD program, let them use this Manly program or EndNote programs, and you can do whatever subject you tell. By sitting here, I can make a good number of references. And some of the people in electronics, they are working, and they say, when I ask questions to electronics engineering faculty members, how many journals are available for electronics field? They say, sir, we have something like 50 to 60 journals are available. Then I showed them that it is not 50 to 60, it is almost like 350 journals are available. We are not experts on electronics part, but still we can, sitting here, we can tell that what type of journals are there. And now the things are very easy. I think you should take help of your librarian also. Nowadays, if you want to write an abstract and to submit an internet, there are some websites are available where you just copy, paste that abstract in that particular portion. It will suggest that this is, your abstract is suitable for this type of journal and this much impact factor. If you can do this type of additional information can give, you can still submit to a high impact factor journal. Those things are also available. Please do not ask me that what is that website and what is that name and everything. You don't ask me. I'll give that tips. You can go to that information technology, or you can go to the library and ask those people, they'll give. If you don't have any information, you send an email to shivram@nal.res.in. He is ready to support. He is ready to give all the information. So understanding about EndNote program, it is an excellent tool for all research scholars, and you can choose any relevant references. And please try to keep in mind when you are keeping any references, try to understand that who are the experts in that area. Suppose you are writing on carbon nanotubes, and you are supposed to know that who are the pioneers in the world, like Professor CNR name is there. So whether his student work or somebody's work should be referred, so that you should take references of that one. Suppose we are almost more than 10 journals we are reviewing. I'm a reviewer for more than 10 international journals. In general, what happens is whenever the paper comes, we will see that whether our work is referred or not. It is a general tendency. What happens if my work is cited by somebody, that means my H index will go up and I have some additional marks or plus points for that authors. So you should know about who are all the experts in that area, and you should be able to give these references. And it depends on journal also. Suppose sometimes you are writing some good paper and for nature materials, and you don't quote anything from the nature materials journal or material science engineering or tribology international or ceramic technology, whatever journal. For particular journal, when you are writing, try to keep some of the references of particular journal also. That also will give an impact. And you should be able to know that how to write in a covering letter itself is a big issue. Why? Because the editor, whenever he sees that the covering letter is not at all good, he will say that this fellow doesn't know how to write it. So he will not have much interest to go in detail about that manuscript itself. So you should know how to write. The templates are available, and not only Microsoft Word, you should understand how to work on LaTeX program now. LATEX, LaTeX is another website which is available. Whatever word you are doing, everything you can copy and paste in LaTeX, and you can do nicely in LaTeX. It is all journals now, they are giving a link. What are the format of LaTeX program? They will give the journal format they give. That is introduction, experimental details, and results and discussion, conclusions, acknowledgements, everything they will give. Just you go and copy that one and paste it in that LaTeX program. You will get a beautiful printed version you will get. So try to understand all those things, and you need not to bother for serial number, automatically it changes. Once a journal is rejected, you can submit to another journal by just one click. All references can be changed. You know who refers your work, and it is very easy once you put little effort to understand this one. And you not only learning EndNote X9, X5, I am telling you this old slide, X9 now. Many software available like this. Like for example, Mathematica. If you are somebody is interested in mathematics, there is a program called Mathematica which can come in the Word itself. And it is not the question of nowadays you are good in software learning. So you can learn it and you can teach us, sir, this can be done like this. And latest program which I was referring, in fact, I have given all my students that they should submit their PhD thesis in LaTeX only. Even though I gave some tips only and the basic this thing, they learned more than me, and they could able to submit everything in LaTeX. So please try to understand those things. And as I said, H index is more important. That everybody now talks about what is your H index. I think I will show that what is the H index for IIT faculty members. It is off the record, not actual. Say that why that H index should be that much when you want to get a PhD degree from IIT, PhD or a faculty position in IITs. What is that H index is number of papers. If you can see that your number of papers published is 10, and each paper is cited more than 10 times. So your research H index will be, H is Hirsch, H-A-R-S-C-H-A. He's a scientist a decade back, a physicist in UCSD. He has given this theoretical modeling how H index can be generated. Now I index has come, and I will show you that what is this H index, how much you should get. This is not the exact H index. This is a rough idea where IIT Roorkee, I can see that once they have advertised a post like assistant professor, your H index should be more than 8, and associate professor should be more than 10. Now professor should be more than 12. And if you have more than 18, you can apply for FNA. That is after 24, you can apply for FRS. These are the basic guidelines. It is, you should not take it as granted that these are the correct values. So I'm not audible. Dr. Rajesh.
Yes, sir. You are audible, loud and clear. Yes.
Somebody was asking that it is not audible. Okay.
No, sir. It's audible.
Okay. Then suppose somebody's citation is more than 42,000 total citation, and H index is 156 now. more than having international papers of 1500 and written 25 books, 25 honorary PhDs, and more than 100 PhD students. Who is that Indian who got this Bharat Ratna? And he is from Karnataka. And that's what we call it as wherever Saraswati is there, Lakshmi automatically goes. So can you refer this gentleman? You can see that he is none other than Professor C.N.R. Rao. And what is this good olden days? If you are a son of a teacher, they used to say that wherever Saraswati is there, they can study very nicely, but they don't have good amount of money. So Saraswati always be against Lakshmi. So those proverbs have gone. Now, wherever Saraswati is there, Lakshmi automatically comes. Please keep it in mind. That's what we suggest. Go for a higher education, go for a PhDs, postdocs, and whatnot. So when you have such type of knowledge, you need not to bother for the money. Money automatically it will come. And if you see that Professor C.N.R. Rao, he got so many awards. And small example is if you get a SS Bhatnagar award, you are going to get a 5 lakhs only, and 25,000 rupees per month. If you assume Professor C.N.R. Rao, he got more than 50 crore rupees non-taxable amount for his credit. So you should able to know that what type of research work we are using. And I think now this is also my old one. Everybody should have a ResearchGate now, or Google Scholar. This thing, all papers, whatever you have written, it comes. And you can see this is my website, or my Google Scholar amount only, ResearchGate, I think Google Scholar. And my H-index is now 23. I think it must have little increased. So who are all co-authors with me, like Terence Langdon, I wanted to mention here. I think I will show one of his picture also, where he has in the world, in material science, he is world number 3, with whom I have worked in USA. I think it's a great opportunity. These are all co-authors are available. I think now our library information science, Dr. Shivaram, he has introduced a new software where all the scientists, whatever their H-index, how many papers they are publishing, what type of research grants they are having, everything is available in the internet now. If you just put somebody's name in like Dr. K. Venkateshwarlu, NAL Bangalore, and you will get all the information, including salary information also available. I think you should use this softwares, and you can know the live earthquake positions in the world wherever it is available. So that your research is a sensation. I will go quickly about why this is. I am giving the old ones. I think recently I made the new one, but you can see that how you are working in an area, whether it is important or not. How do you know that one? And what we have done is, since we are working on material science journals, we are taking different journals and what is their impact factor. This is all old ones. You can see their impact factors here, and how many papers have been published, so that it shows that this area, like severe plastic deformation, is actively involved in this one. And what we have taken now, all the others are also, they have given ranks now. There is a insights.com is there. I will show that website name also. In the world, what is your ranking also, you can find out, and number of citations. That means whatever Gleiter has written paper that has been cited by 1,976 papers. That is the, and Value and Alexandrov, these are the people, Russian people. I think most of the research work that is being carried out earlier was done by Russians only. Later only Europeans and Americans, they have come. Why? Because Russians, they used to publish in Russian language. It was not widely circulated in the beginning. Nowadays, they have given a lot of importance that they should participate in the international English also they have taken. Now you can see that Professor Langdon and our group, they have written a lot of papers, and you can see that each journal we have taken and what type of who are all authors and how many citations they have. This shows that. And when you, by using the EndNote program only, and I give the severe plastic deformation, and you can see that this is long back. Old one is 6,092 papers on severe plastic deformation. I think now it must have gone more than 12,000 publication. You can see here there is a search button in the bottom. I don't know whether you can able to see here. Search button is here, and you write keywords. Just write severe plastic deformation. you will get 6092 papers. So this is very easy. And who are all the people? You can see that 2014 onwards, who are all the things it will come. You need not to bother anything. Whoever you wanted to take, you can read the title of the manuscript, just go and control button, you can select some of the papers, and you can see here there is a insert button. This is the insert button. So you just insert, it will go to the, and that square brackets or other brackets, whatever, everything it will do on own only. So here you can see that this is the total number of slide I was showing. 2019 I had a recent one, and severe plastic deformation, and we had an opportunity in 2011 once I went to China, then afterwards 2015 I went to China again second time. When we have gone, you can see here Professor Langdon with his wife, we had a breakfast together, and he is the man who has started initially on severe plastic, even though there are some Russian professors are there. He started, now he is extensively traveling all over the world. His wife name is Mary, and the way, the amount of research work they are doing, I think if I start on night 11:30, I think it may be around 1 o'clock in USA. For that time, he was working in University of Southern California. I give some information which is required, and surprisingly, at night 1 o'clock, he used to give the reply that yes, you can go ahead like this, or he suggests that you should do like this. I think when I visited for my postdoc to his room, I think in his room, I can see that there are no designs or anything. Only cupboards are there, just like a library. In each year, he has kept all the papers, year-wise papers and with reprints. And surprisingly, you should note that once I have written one, first time when I have written a paper, I thought that initial paper was on acta materialia, which is having more importance. So I kept the reference of acta materialia. Then he is so choosy that no, you cannot keep that paper as a acta materialia, even though it is having a high impact factor. He suggested that you should use the material science engineering AY, because 2 years before only we have written about that paper, and that material, that particular subject is referring in that journal. So he has asked me to change that references. So he is very particular about that type of, and you ask him who are all the people worked in that one, and when is that published, what is the title, which year, which journal, everything it is kept in mind. Even now, if you ask me after submitting 97 or 101 international papers, I don't know many of the publication list. Even sometimes if you ask, you refer those papers, I am unable to do it. Now he is having more than 700 international papers, and everything he keeps in his mind. That's what we should learn from these people. Now he is in University of Southampton, UK, I think, and he is a person, Rulson Value. He is the pioneer in severe plastic deformation in 2011, when we had a Nanjing one conference on his name, that is nanostructured materials, nanomaterials by severe plastic deformation. When we conducted this conference on his name, why? Because that was his 65th birthday. So we conducted a, now very happy to inform you that this is the eight times, alternate years we are conducting an international conference on severe plastic deformation. And after 8 years, 9th severe plastic deformation conference should be held in Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore this year, first time in India. And unfortunately, this COVID has made us measurable, and we could able to, 2020 we are supposed to conduct, but unfortunately we have shifted to next year only. So those who are working on this severe plastic deformation, they can submit. So basically, you should understand what is Web of Science. I think it is 11:50, whatever the time it is given, it is, I think, almost getting over. So you should understand what is Web of Science, what is EndNote, and what is Scopus. Scopus index, the journals are Scopus, how it is, Manley programs, H index, G index, or I index. At least if you are not following, you try to understand what are those things. As I said, there is a www.insights.com. Who are the top researchers in the world? Who are the, what is the ranking of the, what are the papers that is in that particular area, material science engineering area, which is the top paper? those are all details you can get from this website. I think you can see that journal lists are available, and who are the top most scientists, cited scientists in the world. You can get all the information can be available. As I said, what is the impact factor of the journal? Suppose when you are writing any journal, you should see that what is the impact factor of that journal, how it depends on how many people are referring that one. So please, it is not 100% you should go for the impact factor. Sometimes if the impact factor is low also, if the people are referring your community people, then you need not to bother much about the citation. For example, Metallurgical Transition A is a journal which is having almost like a 2.8 impact factor. But even though we have 5 impact for materials and design, the Metallurgical Transition A is given more importance. Why? Because the number of people referring that one may be less in that area, but our community people are seeing more. For example, Aeronautic Society or aeronautic subject 1.5 is a very big impact factor for aeronautical engineers. So these are some of the impact factors which are in 2012. I think this is the old one. And you can see that Google Scholar, when you give this one, you can get importance each year, how many papers you are publishing and how many citations each year you are getting and what is your H index, and all the details are available here. This is, I have taken my colleague, one of who is working with us. You can see that 2013 itself, 2012, he has published more than 25 papers in a year. That means per month, 2 international papers. So this is what, just to get an idea. So what are the sincere advices to all the people? Try to understand where you are standing. You don't know that there is a flight from Bangalore to Mangalore. If you don't know and you are working in Mangalore, which flight comes, if you don't know all those things, it is measurable. So you should know the place where you are working and try to understand what research area stands for and what are your group activities and who are all the experts in that area and particular area who has done research work, what is left over in that one you should know. And in addition, you should know that what facilities are you are having and where you can get those work done also you should have. And you should see that what significant work you can do, what the delta change you can make it. Try to see that where you can publish. And after giving all these advices, some of the faculty members, students, researchers, what they ask, sir, you please tell simple idea without doing any work, whether we can publish our work. For that, the answer is no, sorry. Why? Because unless you work hard, you will not get anything in the life. Even you take in politics or you take in research or you take in any academic activities, unless you work hard, you will not get anything. So work hard is the only simple. I think we are not born intelligent, but we worked hard and we got some achievements. So what is needed now is try to do a lot of research and literature survey. You should understand that what is left over in that one, what you can contribute for that particular area, and you have to read more. Once you read more, your fundamentals will be clear. And now the science is open. Now earlier people used to say that we cannot tell these things, it is very secret. Oh, those things have gone. Now patents information is also available in the net. So please join hands with other researchers and forget about your ego. That's what Albert Einstein, he says that ego is won by knowledge. That means when you have more knowledge, you have less ego, and less the knowledge, you have more the ego. So forget about ego and try to have with interaction with other people. I think I have given a small example when I teach for the students. Whenever they do graduation, they know so many things. When they go for post-graduation, they know little bit of a subject. When they go for postdoc, they know in particular area only. The broad knowledge they are making into narrow, but then why they should go for higher studies? Then what the answer is, the depth of knowledge increases. So once you go for PhD or postdoc, your depth of knowledge is increasing. That is more important. And as I said, you should have an interaction with academic institutes, with research institutes and industries, this type of activities. And I will quickly go through this one. Why? Because now the time is 11:55, another 5 minutes left over for me. If few presentation tips for all the researchers, those who are in, when you present anything, it is not the question of whatever you know, you should omit to the other people. You should know that who are the audience and what they are going to take after your lecture is over and how your presentation looks like. So the purpose of research talk is not to impress the audience, tell them all about your subject, present every little detail of your work. This is not the thing. What is required is you should understand and understand who are all the audience, what they wanted to know from you, and what they really understand from your work. That is more important. So you should know your audience, whether they are the faculty members, experts, or anything. So mixture of all the people. Know you. Keep in mind they might be tired. They can read. Like webinar program also now. I think there should be another program where I can see all the faces of the people and say that you cannot relax on your bed and see the lecture like this. And whether they are seeing or not, once they recorded everything, they'll just go and do their personal work. No, you should have respect to the speakers, that you should listen to them and experts after 5 minutes and what they can do. And preparing the presentation, I will give the slide layout is very bad. Why? Because it is not justified, and if you have so many sentences like that, nobody is going to read. So how it should be like this? It should have a bullet forms, and the font size should be like this. You should have a very nice fonts like this, 32 to 44, and these are the small. If you have like this fonts, I am not going to see those type of this one, small sentences, capital letters and bold letters, all mixing. So it should be something like this. If I have like this, okay, I can understand that, okay, he is decent way he is presenting this one. And colors also, you can see that if you have only 2 colors, that looks for technical presentation. If it is a management or whether it is a administration, something other programs for business, it is completely different. Like these colors, if you are having, I think those who are sitting as an experts, they don't like that you put so many colors for each letter. You keep some color, they don't like it. So the best background given is something like this, by blue and white background, and black letters or white background, or like this. If you give some background like this, I think it doesn't look nice. The graphs also good. I think recently I was reviewing some paper. If they keep so many these things, and I will show that another this like this. When we get our eyes get retracted from here, and I see that this is very bad way of presentation of the graphs. So this is the one how you should practice. Give a practical talk and try to give your work whatever you have done in your own group and see that what comments have come. It is not like that you are doing your own work on. You should able to present very nicely. You should give the glimpse of what you are doing. And what are the procedures when you submit an international publications? How the procedure will take place? I will give a very quickly 2 minutes. When you send any paper, like you are preparing some paper, you are communicating, you are trying to understand, and these are the things. See, why Dhoni is considered as a good cricketer? Why? Because he has not made so many runs. He is not having individual records. He has not made so many centuries. But still, he is a good cricketer. Why? Why? Because during his tenure, India won many matches. That is his track record. That's what he is a good cricketer. Similarly, a scientist, a professor, or faculty from a academic institute, what he should have is, he should have some results, manuscript, and his publication record. That publication record only, it says that he is a good scientist or good researcher. So these are the how the peer submission. When you submit any journal paper, what happens is nowadays there are BA students, BCom students only, they are sitting with the editor. Whenever you submit any paper, they have the softwares from where you have copied. I think this information, plagiarism software is available, and these can be done. Anybody can be done this one. I think your library must be having the same thing. I think those people only check the paper whether it is suitable to particular journal or not. They will reject from there. It will not go to the editor also nowadays. So once it goes to editor, what he will see is, he will see that how he has written the covering letter, what new experiments he has done, whether he will send it for a review process. They will see that whether these results are novel or not, whether the research area is relevant to the journal information or not. Suppose they say that some revision is required, they will send it for revision, or they will accept or accepted for publication, or they will say that nothing is innovative in this one, they can simply reject. Nowadays, they are suggesting that suppose if you submit to impact factor of 3, and they suggest that thank you. Somebody is giving that talk is good, but you should able to make end of the day, you should able to take this one and write a good papers and see that you have published a good international paper. Otherwise, what happens if there is no novelty, it is being rejected. So what they are saying is the manuscript is novel or not? Is the manuscript interest to our readers or not? These are the two questions as an editor he will see. If novelty is significant and you are following the aims and scopes of target of audience, the paper will be accepted. I think this is the new findings are there. They go for the incremental advances or low to medium impact fact journals. If your new findings are conceptual advances and medium to high impact factor, that's what it shows that your new findings are good or not, how much it is good, that you should know. This is what why people you can submit to next another journal. Even after working for many we nicely, and one Grammarly program is available now. I think everybody must download. It is a free version. I think my audio is not clear. Dr. Rajesh Kumar. Dr. Rajesh Kumar.
Yes, sir. It is clear now. There was some hackle. It is okay now. Hello.
Are you able to hear?
Yes, sir. It's
Are
okay
you
now.
able to hear?
Yes, sir.
They are telling somebody was telling that it is not audible.
Yeah, there was some issue. It's okay now.
Okay. So inappropriate data presentation. This is some of the reasons why the paper is rejected. And please keep it in mind. Grammarly you should download and you can keep in your email itself. Grammarly can work. And whenever you write any papers, very nicely it will be there. I think you can see that whenever you write a research paper, what things are needed. See, what happens is when Dr. Gujar, she is telling that now audio is very clear. And when you write any paper for publication are required, even though we are guiding a lot of PhD students and telling that you should do like this, you should do like this. In fact, I made it a compulsory recent for the past 5 to, I think for the past 6 to 7 years, whoever the student is there, he should go one international conference and present his paper in an international. So I sent some students to abroad and they presented. And when I asked question, what you learned from that conference, he says that I met my sister there and I have taken a lot of good photographs. This is not the purpose of sending you to for an international conference. You should understand that why you have been deputed for an international conference. That means you should understand who are all the people are attending that conference. Have you met them personally? Have you exchanged your visiting cards? These are the things India is giving a lot of exposure for these international conferences. They are sending you people to conference and try to have international collaboration. Why? Because nowadays, whenever you submit your PhD degree, PhD thesis also, you require 6 to 7 people in your area who can review your thesis. Those people also you should know personally and you should able to get this thing. What happened after explaining everything to my students, they are unable to do it. So what I have done is, I think I made a basic template with my own handwriting what is the abstract, and you go on giving the answers for, suppose, done some area of work, small work you have done, you have prepared a road. You can make a, what is that you have made a, so what exactly you have done. So roads were prepared using the wheat flour, and what are experiments you have done it, what your results are saying, if results are, what good things have come, what results you got in this investigation, and what you wanted to conclude. If you can give answers for all these questions, like abstract, introduction, experimental procedures, and similarly conclusions also, what you are supposed to should be past tense. When you are writing the, it should be your sentence only. And any past tenses there. So some of the things people they write without understanding. So we get sometimes we feel bad that they who are interested, they can go through these 2 slides. I think other slides you need here. This will be most useful. I think with this you can able to write good papers with good impact fact journals. And is 12 o'clock, and I think I take this opportunity to thank SJCE. Dr. Rajesh Kumar, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. It has been a, hello, sir. Yes. Thank
yes,
you.
Dr.
Thank you
Rajkumar.
very much, sir. Yes, sir. We are really grateful to you, sir, for your.
Yeah. If you want, I should
Wonderful.
continue. If you say that I should continue for one more hour also, I can go. I can go on
Okay,
talking like
definitely.
this only. This is the bad
Definitely,
quality of
sir.
a
We
professor.
will have one more session from your side. Definitely, we'll have one more session from
Thank you,
your
thank you.
side. It has been a wonderful listening to you. It is a vast, extensive information which we got. We are really grateful to you on behalf of the college, St. Joseph Engineering College, on behalf of our research team, research and facilities team. I wholeheartedly thank you. Thank you very much, sir. We'll go for some of the questions. Let us take some questions, sir.
You can
Hello?
ask me.
Yes, sir. I have noted some questions which are being posted in the post chat box. Sir, one of the questions is, it goes like this. Sir, AICT site shows expert evaluation completed, but in the end, they failed to publish the final result for the project applied. It happened to me last time. It was waiting in vain for the final result. Nobody takes the responsibility to respond to our phone calls as well. I have applied this time also under RPS scheme. This website is showing expert evaluation is completed. Sir, when can I expect the final result promptly?
It was completed last month only. It was completed in May only, the procedure. I think by another 1 month or 2 months, they will get the results will be declared. Now this COVID, people are not effectively working. So please, general time it takes only 3 to 4 months. This time it will taking 6 to 8 months. They'll get the results soon.
Yes, sir. There is one more question. Like I have applied for DST funding about an year back. So far, there is no updates yet.
1 year it is a normal time. DST it is taking a little more time. Now it will take some more time. Actually, DST getting experts, and whenever they give concern for review, what happens is they will take 2 months. After that, they'll say that I am busy, I cannot give. So we should understand the position of as a sponsorer. So we are sitting in DST, we get a lot of projects for review, and getting a reviewers itself is a big difficulty. And once you give, some people accept and they will not do. So we have real difficulties, and 1 year is a general time it takes. You don't lose your heart, and please wait for some time. It will be through.
Hello.
Yes, Dr. Rajesh Kumar.
Yes, sir. There is one more question. I would like to know if there is any rule as what percentage of total fund should be allotted to various budget headers?
That's what.
There is some
this,
issues with the audio. Yes. Yes, sir.
See, there are some of the
Yes, sir. There is some. Yeah. Yes, sir. Hello. Yes. Hello. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think
Can
we
hear.
are having some connectivity, I think.
Yeah, there is some issues with the audio.
Yeah,
It's okay. There is a break. Yeah, yeah, sir. Now we can hear.
Whenever they submit a research proposal, and you should know that there are so many issues, practical issues are there, but you should be continuous in touch, and you will get the research grants. So what happens is there are for like a small scale, small institutes like SJCE. We are being a sponsoring agency. We are also. There is a quota for that one. If they are from remote place, we are supposed to encourage those researchers also. There are some information is available which I cannot go on give the information here.
Yes, sir. There is one more question. It goes like this, sir. Sir, I also would like to. Can you hear me, sir? Sir, I would like to know if agencies also support by funding to start a research center for a particular domain, or is it only research project?
Dr. Rajesh.
Yes, sir. Should I repeat my question, sir? Hello? Yeah, it goes like this. Sir, I also would like to know if agencies, sir, I also would like to know if agencies also support by funding to start a research center for a particular domain, or it is only research project.
Can you hear me, Dr. Rajesh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, they are asking whether they give, hello?
We have cleared some of the VGST projects. In that center also we give money for 25 to 50 lakhs. Hello?
Yes, sir. Sir, if you don't mind, we'll send you the questions through mail. I'll request my participants to name all their questions, if at all anything, if they have anything. And we would like to be in touch with you, sir, because as you said, you have to be knowing somebody at the funding agency. So we are know you now. So we'll catch hold of you for all our future.
You should know the procedure.
Surely,
you should know the procedure. I am only a nucleating agent. That's all.
Yes, sir. We'll get back to you for all your guidance. And
thank you very much.
Your advice is in all our research projects, because our college has wonderful potential of applying and coming up with the new research proposals. We are trying to get. And sir, one more thing, sir. What about your this time's VGST? Whether they will be funding? We have applied.
Yes, sir. We have already cleared that one project.
Okay, sir.
But keep it in mind. Last year, if you have Last year, if you have any project is not completed,
Okay.
then they may not give this time.
Uh-huh.
If
Okay,
you
sir.
have a running project, you should able to complete that one, then only a new project will be given.
Uh-huh. Okay, sir.
So please check we have some administrative rules and regulations. Even though
Okay.
what happens is we are from technical content. We give the
Okay,
marks
sir.
for technical scrutiny, and once it
Okay,
is
sir.
cleared, the proposals goes to the VGST, and
Yes.
VGST what they'll see is whether that institute belongs to some backward community or what is that remote places, they get some marks. And already some research project is going on with them. They may not get this year. They may get for next year.
Okay, sir. If there are no other questions, I would like to conclude the webinar. Once again, I thank you very much, sir, for your very
Thank you.
wonderful presentation and informative talk. Thank you very much, sir. I thank Dr. Venkateshwar Karadi for his wonderful presentation. Thank you very much, sir. I thank the
Thanks to
management.
Dr.
Sir, thank you so much.
He is the
First of all,
main.
I would like to thank you once again for accepting our request and on behalf of the management also, and for your beautiful and being here with us here.
Thank you.
The keynote address and very wonderful and informative session, sir. We look forward future also to have such sessions with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for Dr. Felsi. Thank you. I thank the management, the directors, assistant directors for their support. I thank Dr. Rio, our Dr. Rio, our principal. I thank Dr. Sandhya Das, the chief coordinator. I thank Dr. Felsi, the convener of the program. I thank all the members of our committee, the Science and Facilities Committee of St. Joseph Engineering College, the Research and Facilities Group. Thank you very much for all your efforts. I thank Mr. Rakesh Raju for the technical support. He has been with us throughout. Thank you very much. I thank our valuable participants. Thank you very much, sir, for registering in such a large number. Thank you very much. Here is a note, please. We have sent a link for registering Telegram. I repeat, we have sent a link to your mail of the Telegram. Please register in the Telegram because all our updates, all our informations, everything will be updated in that Telegram group. Please look into this. If at all you have missed out anything, the feedback link, please, we'll be sending you, we'll be mailing that feedback link. Any information if you want, you would like to, if at all you would like to ask any questions to our resource person, you can do that. You can mail him. It will be, his information will be shared right there with your mail. Thank you very much once again. Thank you all for this wonderful session webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.